I remember as a child hearing stories and prophecies of the chosen undead. Escape beyond this place and become the champion of the kindled flame of Lord Gwyn. I was one of the fools who set out to try to become a champion. A child raised by poor farmers in a no-name field around the kingdom of Orlando. Set out for a grand destiny that was nothing but hearsay, hoping to make a better life for myself and my family. I trained in sorceries and the way of the blade, defeating foul creature and hallowed undead alike, letting none get too far without tasting a sweet temporary death, gathering the souls to strengthen my resolve. After months of training and slaying, I found myself standing in the rumored Firelink Shrine. Other undead mingled and drank merrily, awaiting their rest to be over so they continue their journey. I remember feeling like an imposter, seeing people who made my hand-me-down armor look like cracked pots and cookware in comparison to their extravagantly designed helms and cuirasses. Yet I did not leave. As I spoke with those also in attendance, I found out to my relief only a tenth were following the same path as I. Through that tenth, I discovered something that bothered me for an eternity after. They were given the same prophecy as my childhood presented, though their obstacle to escape in order to travel here was different. Every last one. Could it be that this is all a lie? Could it mean something more? Even now as I write this, I can't help but worry that perhaps there is a secret deception in play. As I was saying, I waited to be chosen. Surely my prophecy was the original, the correct one. Yet I stood there looking at the woman whose eyes were covered with a single layer of cloth, and watched as she walked by me and told the woman next to me that she had been chosen. My heart sank. This was all I worked for. Could another be chosen? Was there only room for one chosen undead? What happens if she fails? Would I have another chance? Questions tormenting my mind and soul created what felt like a bottomless spiral of hopelessness. My heartbeat felt so hard, like a small explosion happening within my bosom. It was soon after where my fear, anxiety, and inadequacy were replaced by determination fueled by insulted fury. I told the Firekeeper that I will prove that she chose wrong. The only response she gave was that I had a purpose elsewhere, and she could see it in the flames. If I was in a calmer state of mind, I would have asked her what she meant. But the white-hot rage that burned within my gullet prevented me from caring for such matters. I rebuked her words and traveled down into the place simply known as the Depths. I heard of a town covered in poison. Thought perhaps if I cleansed such a place, that I too would be seen as worthy to become the Lord King's champion. As I climbed down the unstable, broken staircase downwards, I felt the air grow almost acidic, as if the land itself wished to kill me. I found myself taking shorter breaths, keeping in as much oxygen as I could. I swung my sword to slay the opposing creatures. It felt heavier with each swing. I powered through until I found a woman in robes. I looked for any sort of symbol to signify which school she hailed from. There was none. She gave me some sort of liquid that instantly cleared up the burning in my lungs. She called herself a daughter of the Witch of Izalith. An absurd suggestion, I once thought. How could a woman who looked so apprehensive be the offspring of one of the primeval lords? A daughter of the goddess of fire. Being this afraid is just silly to me. She asked me if I was chosen undead. I could have lied. It would have been so easy. She seemed so desperate for something to hold on to. Yet it was that very desperation that I could not give her false hope. I told her that I failed to be chosen by the Firekeeper. Crestfallen is a word that describes most in this decaying world. Yet that word was made tangible by the burdened body of this daughter of the Witch of Izalith. I gritted my teeth and let out a huff. I told her that I will assist her, that I may not be the chosen undead to be Lord Gwyn's champion, but I am still more than capable of taking down whatever ails her. She spoke of pyromancy, but none of the techniques I remember in my studies. Her techniques were untamed compared to the focused and meditated style of traditional pyromancies. She called it chaos pyromancy. It was a style that used the primordial flame created by her mother and siblings. She states that she is the creator of modern pyromancy, that uses the fire within when her mother and siblings were so stupidly foolish to try and reignite the flame. I looked at her. What did she mean by reignite? According to this fire witch, Lord Gwyn, god of light, had used his own essence to reignite the kindled flame. As that flame started to dwindle, her family intended to reignite with their proficiency over fire. That attempt simultaneously succeeded and backfired. It created new life, destroying the residents of Izalith, but created in their place the demon race. It also changed her family into monstrosities. She asked me if I could help them find peace. I clutched the handle of my sword and nodded. She showed me a way to enter into her sister Quaylog's domain. I did not hesitate, walking into the fiery pits of Izalith, seeing the melted and morphed bodies of the previous residents. Walked into a chamber, hearing the skittering of movements above me. Climbing down slowly was a half-woman, half-spider looking at me. Her body hidden only by her hair, her eyes staring at me with the intensity and color of flame. Even with her more infernal aspects, I could not help but find her undeniably beautiful. I rated myself, my hand on the handle of my blade. I gulped, trying not to focus on the etherealness of her beauty.
Go back, forbidden be these parts, the realm of the creatures of chaos. They accept their banished fate. Go back, lest the flames devour all, and the children of chaos feed upon your charred ashes.
Her warning had felt sad, as if she truly wished to be let alone, and yet something in me stood firm. She charged at me, and I dodged a stream of flame. Still I stood. I announced to her that her sister sent me to help her in any way I can to bring peace. She looked at me concerned, and on behalf of her family's request, she would offer me a chance to join a covenant with her. I looked at her, my heart swelling. Whether it was her majesty or the heat of the flames, I could not focus on what I was doing, and agreed.
Ah, a precious new sacrifice. Forbidden be these parts, the realm of the creatures of chaos. Go on.
I clasped my hands together like those who follow the way of white. I could feel everything changing. Fire erupted around my body, the heat nearing levels unbearable. I opened my mouth to let out a scream, instantly silenced, with the flames entering inside me. She told me that I am now one with her. I looked at my armor, seeing it charred black, lines of coursing fiery orange across each piece. That was so long ago, when I gave myself to Lady Quaylog's flames. I have regret, none of it. So those who claim to be chosen undead, be weary when you enter my beloved lady's domain, for you will meet her night of chaos flame.
Welcome, bringer of meat. The children of chaos are hungry. Give yourself to Quelaag's flame.
As you wish, my lady.